Hey, what's up, you all? I hope you're doing fine wherever you are today. So, this is Chinjuk Story Set with another video. I hope that you are all safe wherever you are. Now, there's been a lot of hurricane that happened 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and people have been complaining about the response or about the help that people are not getting. And independently, Sundown is a white dominated place and it has a bad history towards black people, and black people know this. So the thing is this: people are complaining, especially people in Sundowns are complaining that they are not receiving sufficient support. They are not receiving support, and like people are just watching them like they and their own. And some people also goes on and complains about the FEMA, that's the Federal Emergency Management Agency, for not responding very well, or for not being fair in distribution of aid when it comes to this predicament that is happening or that is affecting people. Now, people are also coming out trying to explain why they are on the sideways, not trying to help this disaster, not trying to help with this problem. I know it's not a happy thing. I know it's a sad thing that to happen, but just listen to people's response, because it seems like most of people in the Sundown who are affected by the by the hurricane are so mad because people are not trying to help them, to attain everything that they want during this disaster. I don't want to say much. I want you to watch this video. I'll be back with my commentary. Until then, subscribe to the channel, share, like, and thank you.
So first of all, not only is Asheville not a sundown town, it's 12% black and it voted blue in the last election. And also, it's important to know that sundown towns are not synonymous with the South. In fact, there are plenty of sundown towns in the Midwest. There's a sundown town in California. It's argued that there may be more sundown towns in the Midwest than in the South. So my question for you now is, are the people of North Carolina now worthy and deserving of your help? Since we have now proven ourselves, does that mean that we no longer deserve to be victims of government incompetence and lack of caring? This is like legitimately what is the most horrifying part to me. If you had to evacuate for Hurricane Helene or are having to evacuate for Hurricane Milton, hop in my comments. Tell me what your job is letting you do. Because my ass, which this is not comparable, but I worked at the mall during COVID. Them bitches did not give a fuck if I lived or died. Essential worker. And it's me working at the fucking mall. And like, especially if you work for like a big corporation, say you work for Walmart or something, they control whether or not your store closes. So if the Walmart in Tampa is still open, the people are gonna have to be there to staff it. And like, can they just not evacuate? And that's why we really need to talk about how we talk about victims of natural disasters or victims of anything. This weird mindset that gets taken on by assholes, more or less, is that the people who aren't evacuating are choosing not to evacuate. And if your house gets washed away, then that's on you. But then, like, we'll not take 2 seconds to critically think about, like, how much money evacuation takes, how much time evacuation takes. Think of, like, all the disabled people, people in wheelchairs, people who have to be hooked up to, like, machines to live. Think about people who don't have cars. Think about people in nursing homes. Like, what do they do with those people? Think about people in hospitals. Think about, like, pregnant women. Like, you go into labor during a hurricane. What is there to do? And this is why I'm so critical of government's responses to natural disasters like this. The government going on as anyone who works for the federal government, going on television and being like, it is your responsibility to evacuate, and then not providing any means of evacuation or any assistance in evacuating. And I'll have people I know who will be like, well, that's not the government's job. It should be. Like, if you actually value your constituents and the people that you're a governor or a mayor or a leader over, getting these people help and out of harm's way should be your #1 fucking priority. You should be chartering buses. You should be doing, like, we should be doing all these things. And everyone's like, we're going to give you FEMA aid, and that's the best we can do. And the aid is only going to come if you hit all of these qualifications. Like, they leave prisoners in prisons. They don't evacuate prisons. And the people that are often most affected by this are going to be poor, working class, often people of color. I also had someone comment on one of my videos talking about, like, reservations that are affected. Yeah, reservations, indigenous reservations are often also neglected federally. Like, evacuation is not as simple as putting your stuff in your car and driving away. You have to have money for a hotel. You have to have money for gas. Like, you have to have a job that'll let you evacuate, because some jobs won't. Because what is the mighty shareholder's dollar worth? More than a person's life, at the least, clearly, to some of these people. And that's also why it is stupid to have the mindset regarding it being, like, simply Southern Republicans. Like, these are often the people who are impacted the most are often working class people and often people of color. So you're not even, like, being the, like, liberal you think you are when you're like, well, if the Republicans die, who cares, you know? Are the people of North Carolina now worthy and deserving of your help?
First, I want to start out with saying you have my deepest sympathy. I'm from Texas, Houston, and we just survived Hurricane Beryl. My house was the hardest hit on the street. We went 15 days without any lights, and I lost everything. My house is still, by the federal government, considered inhabitable. Okay, I'm very sorry. I also understand what you are going through right now, because I'm Black in America. And where I live, in one of the largest cities in the world, we had to fight to have healthy food sources in our neighborhoods. Being Black in America, on a local, state, and federal level, we are forced to live in food deserts. We understand what it feels like to not know where your next meal is coming from, and we also understand what it feels like to go hungry. And right now, because you are going through this, and people are sometimes less articulate than they could be and sensitive, you're missing the message. I guarantee you there have been Black people chased out of your fucking town and told to never come back there again. I know it's happened because it happens in every town, no matter how big or how small, to Black people in America. What is happening to you right now happens to Black people. It's not happening to you because you're Black. It's happening to you because you're poor. The people of Appalachia are poor. And Black people have been trying to tell poor European Americans that this government doesn't give a fuck about you either. But they weaponize the implicit biases inside of you against us. And as long as they can make you believe that we are the reason that you don't have, you will stay angry at us, and you won't pay attention to them disregarding all of us and picking the shit out of our pockets. It doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican, they all do it. To Black people in America and to poor people in America. We have been trying to sound the alarm. We have been trying to have these conversations with you all. Malcolm X tried to have this conversation, and when he started to get through to poor European Americans, the government really got concerned. Because if we all link up, they're in trouble. So when people say to you that there is this white supremacist legacy coming out of the Carolinas, let's not pretend like it's not true. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that what you're going through, you shouldn't be going through. But we have been trying to have this conversation with poor European Americans, and you are watching it unfold again in a bigger way. We can't live like this. We've made a decision that we're not going to. But as long as poor European Americans are satisfied with just knowing that black people in America are doing worse than them, none of us will do as well as we should. Godspeed to you. I truly hope that relief comes your way very soon.
I am so fucking pissed. This goddamn blue government, I am so sick of their shit. They controlled the climate. They made that fucking hurricane on purpose. North Carolina is sitting on a lithium gold mine.
Remember when we were talking about Project 2025 and I told you guys that part of the plan is to fire all of the federal employees and then they would bring in MAGA loyalists to work those jobs? Remember I told you that the Heritage Foundation started recruiting at the Iowa Fair. They had a booth set up. Well, individuals like her, number one, they vote. They're going to make sure they vote to get Trump back into office. And two, people like her, deranged individuals like her, they are MAGA loyalists. They are beholden to Trump. People like her are on those lists to work for the federal government.
They controlled the climate. They made that fucking hurricane on purpose.
I fucking hate it here, man. Y'all don't understand. Y'all have no fucking idea how truly disgusted I am with this fucking timeline. I hate this fucking timeline. I hate it. I have been fighting against stupid since I opened this app for the very first time. And I am losing. My battle against stupid, I am losing. I am losing. I fight every day against the dumbing down of America. Not for me, but for the generations that come behind me. I do. I don't want my kids or my grandkids to grow up in a dumbass country. I don't. I promise you I don't. I fight for your kids not to have to grow up in the stupidest country on the face of the earth, which also just so happens to have the most nuclear weapons and the most expensive military on earth. Dumb people in charge of mutually assured destruction level weapons should not be. I have been fighting my ass off, and I'm losing. I am losing the battle. I'm man enough to admit that. I am losing the battle against stupid. I am. I can't fight this. I cannot fight this. This is a confession right now. This woman just sat here and said that the Democrats controlled the hurricane. I got nothing. I got nothing. I make jokes because I don't have anything else in me. I don't. I am fighting my ass off. And I'm not the only one. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the only one. And I'm not giving up in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I just have to be honest. The battle against dumb, it's tiring. It is tiring work. It is Sisyphus. I am constantly seeing some stupid shit. And I'm going, got to talk about it. Got to put it out there. That's dumb. Don't say that. That's just levels of stupid you shouldn't have. And literally, once I fight it, once I put the information out there about how dumb it is, something else will happen and that boulder just rolls right back down the hill. I am losing this battle. I am losing it. And I know if I stop fighting and just let the wave of dumbass wash over me, my grandkids will be paying for it. Your kids will be paying for it. The world's children will be paying for the level of dumb we allow in this country. I hate this timeline. I hate it. In my soul, I hate it. I fucking hate it. It is the most ridiculous, asinine, stupid, ignorant fucking thing I could possibly imagine. I use profanity because it's either profanity or tears, and I'm not going to cry for something like this. I'm just going to keep fighting. I'm going to fight with arrogance. I'm going to fight with assholism. I'm going to fight with a level of you fucking idiot that you have never seen. I'm calling people dumb to their face, on lives, on videos, wherever I can get my damn hands on. Because I'm not letting this, I am not letting this country go down like this. The level of stupid in this country is toxic, not just to us, but to the entire world. Stupid, heavily armed, and arrogant. We cannot allow all those three things to be in the same place at the same motherfucking time. But I'm telling you, it is soul crushing having to live with people who you don't even know who's been affected by that dumbass. That woman put that video out there in fucking 4K to where every cell phone that has Wi-Fi or internet or whatever can open up TikTok and watch it. Every time I see something like this, this is the picture that I picture. This is all I see. Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
I am so fucking pissed. This goddamn blue government, I am so sick of their shit. They controlled the climate. They made that fucking hurricane on purpose. North Carolina is sitting on a lithium gold mine.
To begin, there's no such thing as a lithium gold mine, and that's just the first of my reservations. You know, there are those of us who have a rudimentary understanding of how the world works. Like, take me, for instance. My dad's an engineer and used to take me to work with him, and he taught me stuff. Simple things like, in order to get work done, that takes energy. In order to make something, that takes energy. And the amount of resources it would take to not only create a hurricane, but control its direction would be insurmountable. That is simply not possible with the technology we have today. Not only would it take massive amounts of energy, but you would need a large mechanism to do it. One that would be obvious to everyone. Because it would be huge. Death Star level huge. And that's just the size of the mechanism. You'd have to construct it first. And then there would be all the energy it would take to power it. Where is that going to come from? A lot of you lack that simple, fundamental understanding of how things work, and it really makes it difficult for those of us who do, especially with something like this that's just, People like me see something like this and find it so egregious that we can't let it exist in the world without being challenged. And it exists because some moron went online and wrote this, and then you read it and thought, that sounds plausible. And you did that because you felt you needed one more excuse to explain why you vote the way you do and why you hate the people you don't vote for. You're essentially voting for a fairy tale, not a particularly good fairy tale, but you guys are fond of the author because you wrote it. Because we don't believe in that fairy tale, you think that we're sheep because we don't believe the Democrats built a giant weather-changing machine. Well, anyway, this has been Doc for Diesel Punk Industries. Thanks for watching, and as always,
welcome back to the channel. Look, in as much as the firma is non-partisan, but you know, it has ties with any political government or the government official, and most definitely black people have history with being lied to about the aid, the help during disaster, and you know, This is something which has been happening. So now people are asking, why are black people so hesitant in helping this? Because majority of people who have been hit by these hurricane, they majorly are white dominated places like the Sundown, right? So there has been historical discrimination of black people. Like, history knows that, and everyone knows that, right? Many black people have experienced racism and discrimination in how the government resources are distributed. Past events like federal response to Hurricane Katrina, where black communities were disproportionately affected, have created deep mistrust in government institutions. So now it's hard for black people to help. Or why are we seeing this hesitation? It's hard for them because when there was Hurricane Katrina, some black people never received help, especially in black dominated areas, right? Now, black communities often feel like they are not prioritized for disaster relief, or that aid comes too slowly compared to the wealthier, predominantly white communities. This can foster belief that government agencies may not have the best interest at heart. I'm trying to understand why we black people are so hesitant, especially in helping things. And look, I'm not happy that this thing is happening to the white counterparts, or this is happening to Sundown. Actually, I'm not happy about it. I'm sad, but at the same time, I'm trying to look at the reason as to why people are so reluctant in helping this. And then, as much as what we're saying, what to blame is the government. The government is the one to blame, because most of resources that could have helped with this hurricane are being sent somewhere to do some things that are not important to the people of America or the citizens of America. So you understand what this causes to these people, right? So amongst other reasons, and people are really mad. And I just want to read people's opinion in regards to this. You want to listen to what people say about this, because it's equally important for us to know what really people said about this. It's really important for us to get to know, or get to just talk about it, and just have a look about everything, right? So this is what some people said about this. They just need to pick themselves up by the bootstraps. Yep, I think that's what sometimes black people are told. And now things are reversing. The hurricane is happening. People are left homeless. People, the businesses are swept away, and things are really happening crazily, right? And now things that some white folks used to tell black people is the same thing that now black people are saying. Another reason as to why black people are really hesitant in helping this. Somebody is saying that we are not allowed to go to those towns, but they want our help. Yeah, there is part of history that there are some times that if you're found on the Sundowns, you're being, so that also explains why some people are hesitant when it comes to helping this, right? So it explains a lot, because you can't help where you're not wanted. In as much as you might be sorry for the people who those happened, and I'll say this again, I'm not happy that this is happening to people, because we are all human beings. We have families. Definitely, it is sad. It's something. In as much as how many times I can feel not sorry for them, but it is sad. And that's true. This is something that we should not be happy for, that is happening to them. And as much as some people are saying that this is God's work, but trust me, this is not something to celebrate. This is not something to entertain, because today it's them, tomorrow we never know who it will be, right? Now, they know that they are Sundown's towns. Somebody's saying that, by Sundown's town, why would we help them? What did they do for us? I think this person is trying to ask, when they had a problem, these white folks never helped. and now today they want their help. And this is just an opinion of somebody saying that they're not like us. Somebody saying those people in the Sundown town really lost all their marbles. It is sad. It is really sad. It is really, really sad. What exactly do they expect melanated people to do? The very fact they are looking for help speaks volume. Yeah, it's sad. And I just want to know, when Hurricane Katrina happened, where did black people go? How did you deal with this? Who helped you? I just want to know. Because somebody's saying here, I went through Hurricane Katrina and no one helped us. But I remember this racist country showing its true colors during that time. My mom and dad took care of our family. My family has been in Louisiana since 1699, and we were called refugees. Still explains why. Wow, he didn't say anything about the money sent to Israel. You see, I don't want to talk about this so much because it is sad. It is really, really sad. And as much as the US is sending their money to where their citizens are not appreciating, this is something that it's really uncalled for. It's really, really uncalled for. Trust me when I say so. Somebody said they must have forgotten about Hurricane Katrina. Cops and citizens paying us just facts for over a few weeks. Water, food, or bathroom, and alive for walking, looking for help. It was crazy, I know. It was really, really crazy. Somebody's saying that I remember way back in the 1980s, it was two white guys, friends of mine here in Texas. One's name was Gary and the other name was Ray. But anyway, I also knew Gary's father, whose name was George. So Gary and Ray came to Austin to take me to Pasadena, Texas, to visit George in the hospital. So it was getting late in the evening. Gary and Ray told me, "Come on, man, we gotta get you out of Pasadena before night falls because I'm black." The point I'm trying to make here is why white are upset about us calling them sundown towns when even whites down through the years themselves say their towns are sundown towns. Somebody's saying, I don't see them the same people crying about Trump having a sundown town campaign. They are disgusting, evil, selfish in my opinion. Right? Somebody's also saying that FBA stand up. This white lady stated that 59% of South is black. Even though that is true, realize that 59 is living worse than your people every day because of your people. Why would we help those who refuse to help us? Oh, I'm not getting the point. Skip them, folks. I'm 71, born and brought up in Chicago. We laugh at blizzards and keep going. We didn't have snow days. When I was growing up, I care nothing about bigots and their tragedies. Crazy. Prayers to all affected. The sister said, what she said, the truth. These folks are like we don't know about sundown town. They are in every state in union. Sometimes this might be a little bit sad, but again, it's a really messed up situation. It all culminates down to you as a person. You might be feeling sorry. I might be feeling sorry, but I might not have experienced the true history, what black people in the United States have gone through. So mostly, I'll just most definitely leave to them. They used to decide their fate, whether they'll try help them or whether they might not help them. I'm just gonna leave it upon them, right? So tell me what you think about this video. These are presented Jane Tokyo Stories, and if you're watching this video for the first time, I'll most definitely ask you to subscribe to the channel, join the membership, check out my Patreon, and I'll see you in my next video. And until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.